Konvoy is an investment firm. It's dedicated to video game and interactive entertainment industry. You understand better than anyone the disruption that's happened within this industry. Is going private the right tactic for EA?
Thank you for having me on again, Caroline and Ed. And I absolutely do think it is the right thing for EA to go private. And here's why. Today, EA has represented kind of the digital home for many core tenant properties and games. Think of the sports division, which compose about 60% of revenue. You've got The Sims. You've also got Battlefield, which is about to launch. And a lot of speculation for EA has been that they continuously go back to the well of producing the same types of IPs, and they haven't come up with anything quote unquote new in a while. Going private will allow them to take a risk, to develop some new IP and also be a powerhouse once again for generating new experiences for gamers. And so therefore, as a gamer myself, I like the transaction.
You're investing at the frontier of gaming and the next experiment. So what is it that they can innovate on at the moment? What are the trends that you're seeing in your portfolio companies that could be adopted by the bigger studios?
Yeah, so one of the challenges for large studio-driven public entities is that the public market cycle is difficult for developing new IP. And so, you saw the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft. You're seeing this again. Finding homes where these companies can actually innovate in private. Think of like what Rockstar is doing with Grand Theft Auto. That is difficult to do as a public entity. It just is, unless you have a multitude of properties that can kind of play defense for you in the short term. And so what am I excited about? I'm excited to see what that infrastructure optimized, let's call it further refined, which I have full confidence the PIF and their other partners will do here in this transaction to see what they can produce on the other end. And they produced Battlefield. I don't know if you all saw that test, but it was the 19th most successful CCU event on Steam. And Ed, I'm banking
no,
on
I've seen the test,
and
like all over Instagram Reels and TikTok is the early access experience. What you just said about PIF, though, this is the letter that Andrew Wilson sent employees, right? And in the limited amount of time I've spent with EA's leadership this year, they've talked about IP in the context of going outside of games. And this letter, he talks about sports, and he talks about gaming, and he talks about entertainment broadly. This is something that Saudi Arabia has been working on for a number of years. Do they just give EA a new domain to move into?
Absolutely. So, roughly right now, about 2% of the PIF's assets are in entertainment and sports. That's going to move to about 3.5% at the conclusion of this transaction. They've seen massive success with Scopely. They acquired that for just under $5 billion. They've rapidly expanded and acquired Niantic for an additional $3.5 billion. They're now looking at EA as the mothership of their gaming strategy outside of mobile. I believe that you will continue to see Scopely dominate their mobile strategy, and EA will now probably dominate their console and PC and alternative strategies outside of mobile. And so this is a formative move by the PIF. And I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I'm keeping our team in New York on their toes, but like Battlefield 6 we're showing on the screen right now, Sims, Madden, EAFC, formerly known as FIFA. What are the future of those properties? Do they change somehow?
People are spending less time on new titles and more time in existing titles. That's going to continue to propagate here. And that's why I look at this transaction by the PIF as a very intelligent move. EA has dominated the digital homes that we're familiar with for years, and that's what people want. They want innovation on things they're slightly familiar with. Also, they will have the ability, when going private, to risk it and go for some new properties that will come to love, like a new Battlefield. I'm excited to see them challenge Call of Duty with their Battle Royale. And so for all these reasons, I like the transaction.
What about consolidation? Do they start picking away at companies that you invest in?
I think when you have a new buyer in the market, which the sovereign wealth funds appear to be, one, we're seeing this with the PIF mainly, but secondarily, we're seeing this with Temasek with their move into Keyword Studios. Yeah. So absolutely, having a new buyer on the scene is a good thing for the industry. It is not a bad thing, and especially one that's willing to pay a premium. Typically when you look at private equity, you're not that excited, given that the multiples you may receive are not quite what you would hope for if you're going to go public. But sovereign wealth funds are here to play. They're here to play well. And I think having another place of capital liquidity is only a good thing for startups and for those who are motivated to build new
Jason,
companies.
I saw a twitch in your eyebrow there very quick. I think Kara's question is, it's a good opportunity for your portfolio companies to get acquired by a bigger beast, because like EA goes for very technical acquisitions.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm very excited about this. I think it's a good sign for what is to come. And there's many good companies in our portfolio that I think would love to work with EA and many of the parties involved in this transaction.